Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Hey, thanks for tuning in as always, and got you your latest on a Tuesday, June 16th, past the midway point of June already. Yesterday in Charleston had some below average temps yesterday with that northwest wind flow. Had a high of 75, low at 56, well below average for both of those. Average high was 83. Middle of the week, starting Wednesday night, becoming likely Thursday and continuing Thursday night. I'll watch for areas of the state, especially center and west and south there, some moderate to heavy rain, along with some strong to severe thunderstorm potential with our next cold front interacting with our West Virginia atmosphere. Today we have high pressure working through the area today. Some morning dense fog, low visibility for your morning drive perhaps, and then generally a mix of sun and clouds with mostly sunny skies and comfortable levels of humidity for the time of the year. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Cities like Chicago, high of 70 tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center, areas of Indiana and Illinois, they are watching an expected severe thunderstorm outbreak tomorrow, so I'll keep eyes on that. For our friends to the northwest in the Gulf, Invest 90. I'm keeping eyes on in the tropics as well. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs around 70 or so, low to mid 70s. Mostly sunny skies, a comfortable weather day. To the east in the Panhandle, highs approaching 80, some upper 60s in the higher elevations today and dry with a mix of sun and clouds. Again, 70s to some approaching 80 in the lower elevations, 60s and some low 70s up in the highs. And down to the south, spots like Huntington near 80 today, but generally mid 70s to near 80 for highs today. Warmer with some increasing humidity and a southwest breeze Wednesday, high of 86, chance of showers and storms. Wednesday night, a warm low at 71, 87 Thursday, rain and storms likely, chance on Friday. Saturday's likely dry, chance of showers and storms late on Father's Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
State lawmakers having familiar discussions at the interim meetings in Canaan Valley. We'll get an update from Omaha and a go or go home game for the Mountaineers today. And a couple of good soccer minutes with producer Ethan. It's MetroNews Talkline. We're ready to go.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line uplink. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. Jake Link handles the video stream. Producer Ethan on the audio side of things. And you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Perhaps you are watching on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. That is where we dwell each weekday morning. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK, 304. Coming up this morning, Scott MacFarlane will join us. He was scheduled yesterday. We moved some things around. He'll join us coming up later this morning. Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen, Democrats talking data centers while in Tucker County. And we'll go out to Omaha, hear from Greg Carey as the Mountaineers prepare for the rematch with Troy. Go or go home today at the College World Series. Say good morning to TJ Meadows down in Charleston. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, buddy. I was driving in this morning thinking, man, we live in a beautiful state. Green everywhere. And I was thinking about how much I just hate winter and how thankful I am that there are leaves on the trees. It's greened up. Just puts you in a better mood. I cannot stand, as much as I love this place, born and raised here, not going anywhere, I don't like it in the wintertime.
What we late October, once the leaves come off, when they change, you can't beat autumn over in the mountains, right?
Oh, yeah.
But late October until we get to late March, it's a downer. People know that. Some areas, it feels like it snows and or rains every day between those two periods of the year as well. So, but you're right. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. You know what? We should just do the show outside. Jake, let's make that happen.
Hey, man, I would have no problem going somewhere nice and doing that. I think it would be great. Let's hit the road. You guys let me know where you want to go.
All right, Jake, get on. Well, we're going to go to Buckhannon tomorrow, since you brought it up.
Yeah.
We'll be at West Virginia Wesleyan for the West Virginia Scholar Program. The 15 finalists will be on campus, and the winners and grand prize winner, that full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan, that'll be announced. That will be tomorrow from the campus of West Virginia Wesleyan. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. Interim meetings this week at Canaan Valley. Yesterday, lawmakers were talking everything from economic development to education funding. Brad McElhinny was keeping an ear on all of it. He joins us this morning. Brad, good morning.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Speaking of beautiful, I did not make it to Canaan Valley in person, but did watch through the magic of Zoom technology.
So let's start, Brad, with economic development, if you don't mind. Yesterday, lawmakers heard from economic development officials within the administration. 78 active deals that have the potential to blossom, you say in your story. Care to elaborate on what the officials elaborated on?
Well, I did say that, but I should offer the caveat just between me and you and TJ. Of the 78, I don't know what's going to make it to the finish line. Who knows? So this was a presentation by Christina Davies, Deputy Secretary for Economic Development. And, you know, it's what everyone wants to hear, that West Virginia is making economic progress, potentially has 78 deals on the line through the Department of Economic Development. But, you know, how likely is each one of them? At what stage are they? Davies, again, Deputy Secretary for Economic Development, acknowledged that the national atmosphere has been kind of tough recently. Inflation, high prices, all of that is generating some resistance to economic growth. But 78, the state says, and that has been fairly good. And, you know, we'll see which ones make it to the finish line.
Brad, a couple observations. Number one, I think this is great. This is called a scorecard, and that's what we need. People need to understand what the development office is doing and the value that it brings to the state. Of these 78 deals, 14 are existing companies. So we're growing companies that are already here. That's very important. 64 would be new companies into the state. They're saying they close about 3 per month as a close rate. I don't recall ever seeing this kind of information on a regular basis. Maybe it's just someone asked for it at the committee meeting, but any sense that we would start to get this report on a monthly basis? Are we going to be proactive about putting this information out?
No one said so. Not that I heard. You know, these interims are they are off-season learning experiences for West Virginia's lawmakers. It would be good if they got this kind of consistent update on a regular basis, but particularly when they are out of town, Canaan Valley, for example, it's a rotating cast of characters who travel from Charleston to a place like Canaan Valley to provide this kind of information. And so as a result, you get a little bit of inconsistency in terms of what is actually presented and the emphasis of the presenter.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny joining us. Interim committee meetings yesterday. Technically, interim still going on. Some site tours today for state lawmakers up in Canaan Valley. Brad, in the education committee meeting yesterday, a lot of what I heard and read out of that meeting is a lot of what we've heard before. There's a shortfall, especially when it comes to special needs funding in public schools. So, but this was coming from some other witnesses that we've not heard from before. But it's the same story over again. It seems like there's a lot of informing lawmakers, kind of setting the groundwork for whatever is going to come when we get back to Charleston in January.
This has been a consistent point of emphasis for House Education Chairman Joe Statler. It's a point of emphasis also for the Senate Education Chairwoman Amy Nicole Grady. But Statler has been vocal this offseason and has been trying to make progress all along. So this was a presentation before lawmakers by representatives of local school systems, what they are up against financially, as well as a backgrounder generally on how the school aid formula works. Largely, it's student population based. West Virginia's student population, for whatever reason, outbound migration, generational issues, kids choosing other ways along with their families of getting an education, that student population has gone down, but school systems still have consistent or growing expenses, in part because of special needs, transportation in rural areas. Those expenses don't really go away. So there's been this ongoing question about how to address that. And this was another 2-hour session that I think is going to lead to probably some concrete proposals during the regular session coming up in January. But, you know, to pursue that kind of complicated legislation, I think it really pays off to have discussions and know what you're talking about in the off season.
Looking at Ohio County, testimony from yesterday, a decline of enrollment of nearly 10%, while also dealing with special education costs that have risen over 25% in less than 5 years. Now, I realize that's mixing the buckets a little bit, but the takeaway is revenue is down, costs are up. The legislature has been notoriously slow on this issue. There are a lot of reasons for that. How concerned should West Virginians be, Brad, that these costs continue to increase faster and we continue to see faster declines in enrollment, more so than the legislature can get their act together and come up with a plan to actually fix it?
Mm-hmm. So it's a total team effort at West Virginia Metro News. It was actually Joe Nelson of our Morgantown news operation who covered this meeting. So thank you to Joe. But I did listen in, and, you know, I think it's an ongoing issue. Population loss has continued to be an issue in West Virginia. But if you want to have population growth, then you need to have certain things in communities that people are looking for. A significant part of that is schools. You lose the local school. What do you have to lure families to the area? And so, you know, I think it should be looked at in that sense, that it's not necessarily entirely a look at what you've got now and what you can support, but what you want to support in the future in terms of community growth, businesses coming into your community. If that business expects to have workers, then where will their kids go to school? Across the county line? You need these schools to grow your community.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny joining us. His story is available over at wvmetronews.com. Also, Brad, yesterday, state Democrats in the House of Delegates took the opportunity, being in Tucker County, to talk data centers. We're going to talk to Delegate Evan Hansen coming up in the second hour, but summarize the news conference and what did they have to say yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Well, this was leading into there is a controversial potential data center in the Canaan Valley area that's coming through. It is not one of West Virginia's two certified by the state data centers, but it intends potentially to develop in the Canaan Valley area. So there was a town hall yesterday evening, and leading into that, Democrats had this press conference to express their concerns and to speak to people in the community who are also concerned about the ramifications of a data center in what is otherwise a pretty rural area. So among the topics are, should we revisit West Virginia's all-encompassing data center bill, which was House Bill 2014, that passed a couple of years ago? And within that, does it have the appropriate approach to local control? Should communities, especially rural ones, for example, like Canaan Valley, be able to say where a data center would be appropriate? to monitor the noise, the water use, that kind of thing. And then another issue that has risen over and over and over is what is the tax split? This House Bill 2014 had a significant amount of money going to the states, the most of which is meant to be an income tax reduction fund, but other parts of state government. But if it's affecting your community, should you have more resources, more financial resources coming from the development, because your community is the one being affected.
Brad, did Democrats say regarding that split what they would like to see changed? Do they have different ratios? Have they brought anything forward that they'd like to see in terms of a revised split if this bill's opened up again?
I would like it if Delegate Hansen in the next hour might address that, but I don't recall.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't recall any specific split that was suggested. Just a
We've
revisitation.
put him on the hook. We've put him on the hook. Come up with your split between now and then, Hansen.
Yeah.
Anything else stand out yesterday, Brad? This was the big day of meetings yesterday at Canadian Valley. Like I said, some site tours today, and then they'll be headed home. So anything else stand out to you yesterday as you kept an ear on things?
Well, sometimes the thing that is the most important is what did not happen. So the governor raised a ruckus last month when he had a press conference in the same building while delegates were having a House-only information session. This was last month, House only. They were up in the building. He had a press conference in a different part of the Capitol and had a sort of secondary thought process that he believes temporary assistance for needy families runs a structural gap of about $40 million a year. And there was a conclusion beyond that last month that there may have to be some sort of state cuts to work out that gap. So lawmakers were in the building last month and did not appear to have been communicated with. They gathered again this month, and there was a presentation by the acting secretary for Department of Human Services, but she ran out of time, did not make any kind of presentation about temporary assistance for needy families or the structural gap. There was no time to ask questions because they had to go on to another thing. Got to keep the schedule as is. So, this question is lingering out there. And the administration has said, we're going to address it. We're going to talk to lawmakers about what we see coming with TANF, which some people call welfare. But it just hasn't happened. And there have been opportunities to begin to communicate. So, you launch this problem and then do no further communication about it. It's incredible.
I think your read is spot on with that, because the time that was allocated yesterday, couldn't DHS have started with TANF if they would have wanted to? It was their opportunity. They didn't take it. I saw some feedback on social that, well, hey, the committee didn't offer us anything on this or didn't allot time for questions. The administration had their chance. Put it top and center and get to it. That didn't happen.
I mean, it was a busy session of about 2 hours, and the corrections secretary spoke for a while, the transportation secretary spoke for a while, and then finally Human Services was up, but almost with no time. The time management issue at interims occasionally happens, but this has been a simmering issue with the state for now, going on 2 months, and there's not been. The administration, again, has promised to address the issue that they brought up, but they haven't done so.
He's MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read all of his work from interims over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Oh, Brad, time management. We'll have to save an update on as the Greenbrier turns for another day. He's got a story about that over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Darn, Brad, the clock got us. Time management today.
The way it goes.
Brad, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
800-765-TALKS, the phone number. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Take a break. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
As West Virginia takes their shot at glory in Omaha and captures the nation's attention, West Virginia businesses are building for the future. When it's time for a new medical facility, hospital expansion, historic renovation, auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, trust the team that's been helping build West Virginia for more than 25 years. Jarrett Construction delivers design build, construction management, and general contracting services throughout the state of West Virginia. Visit jarrett-construction.com today. WV030133.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
On the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Scott MacFarlane coming up. Got verklempt. Scott MacFarlane coming up, bottom of the hour. We'll talk to Scott, find out the latest on D.C. and deal or no deal on Iran. That's coming up a couple of minutes from now. TJ, one of the things we didn't get to with Brad that jumped out to me, Commissioner Kelly, David Kelly, the corrections commissioner, was talking to the committee there concerning those audit reports. Remember the audit reports that Brad referenced a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, from BDO.
BDO, correct. And one of the findings was, I'm looking through my notes quickly here, we could save, how many ever $1 million with the body cams? But the commissioner pointed this out, and this jumped out to me. The findings show that excessive use of force claims involving corrections cost the state about $3.5 million a year, accounting for 84% of the cost. But Commissioner said the body cameras, will cut down use of force. It'll do two things. It'll protect our good officers. And unfortunately, we don't always have good officers. It'll also reveal the ones that are not doing their job. The body-worn cameras would address the problem. He said also we may lose a case. He made the case that the body cams would make up, for these litigation problems, but also this may not actually show up on paper. And the point being, yes, because of this problem A may go away because we solve it with body cams. I don't know that that actually equates to actual real savings. That's just money we don't have to pay. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say, TJ?
It's mitigated cost. It's
mitigated
things that
cost,
would go
yes.
to BRIM, right, and filings with insurance. I'll tell you this. I had the opportunity a while back to see the full video of what happened at Southern Regional Jail. My goodness gracious. You watch that video and you'll be like, oh, yeah, we need body cams.
Oh, yeah.
So there's and David Kelly is one of the most balanced people you're ever going to find. This is more than financial. I think he handled it well. But to your point, it's not a hard and fast savings, I think, the way BDO sold, that it would be a hard and fast savings.
Thank you. That's the point I was driving at.
Yeah.
This idea of hard savings from these types of mitigation efforts. That's not going to be the case. That's not going to be the case. And that's always a point that kind of makes me a little irritated when we hear these sorts of things, as if we've just freed up $35 million to do X, Y, Z. Well, not really. Not really.
And in their defense, maybe BDO didn't sell it that way completely. Maybe
somebody
we took the
did.
bullet points and sold it the other way. I don't know. But, yeah, different than advertised. How about that?
Different than advertised. That's a good one, TJ. Different than advertised. Kind of like this show. Different than advertised. All right, coming up, Scott McFarlane. Deal or no deal in Iran? We'll talk to him about that. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Time to get a news update. Let's check in on the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Hey, thanks for tuning in as always, and got you your latest on a Tuesday, June 16th, past the midway point of June already. Yesterday in Charleston had some below average temps yesterday with that northwest wind flow. Had a high of 75, low at 56, well below average for both of those. Average high was 83. Middle of the week, starting Wednesday night, becoming likely Thursday and continuing Thursday night. I'll watch for areas of the state, especially center and west and south there, some moderate to heavy rain, along with some strong to severe thunderstorm potential with our next cold front interacting with our West Virginia atmosphere. Today we have high pressure working through the area today. Some morning dense fog, low visibility for your morning drive perhaps, and then generally a mix of sun and clouds with mostly sunny skies and comfortable levels of humidity for the time of the year. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Cities like Chicago, high of 70 tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center, areas of Indiana and Illinois, they are watching an expected severe thunderstorm outbreak tomorrow, so I'll keep eyes on that. For our friends to the northwest in the Gulf, Invest 90. I'm keeping eyes on in the tropics as well. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs around 70 or so, low to mid 70s. Mostly sunny skies, a comfortable weather day. To the east in the Panhandle, highs approaching 80, some upper 60s in the higher elevations today and dry with a mix of sun and clouds. Again, 70s to some, approaching 80 in the lower elevations, 60s and some low 70s up in the highs. And down to the south, spots like Huntington near 80 today, but generally mid 70s to near 80 for highs today. Warmer with some increasing humidity and a southwest breeze Wednesday, high of 86, chance of showers and storms. Wednesday night, a warm low at 71, 87 Thursday, rain and storms likely, chance on Friday. Saturday's likely dry, chance of showers and storms late on Father's Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
We'll go to Omaha in the second hour. We'll visit with Greg Carey from Charles Schwab Stadium. Get an update on the Mountaineers. They'll be arriving at the stadium about 11:15 our time. 10:15 out there. So we'll check in with Greg after the Mountaineers arrive, get set for that game with Troy. 2 o'clock this afternoon. We've got pregame coverage already over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Also, we'll have 2 good soccer minutes with producer Ethan, our unofficial, unpaid, and unqualified World Cup correspondent. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. The Trump administration has been out and about, mainly Vice President Vance making the rounds on the cable news networks over the last 24 hours, talking about the deal with Iran. The deal is actually a memorandum of understanding, an agreement to begin working on an agreement. That's how I would characterize it. A lot of questions still remain. Let's bring into the conversation our chief Washington correspondent for Midas Touch, friend of the program, Scott McFarlane. Scott, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Big game day, 2 p.m. I'm going to not work from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. now.
Most of the state will probably be joining you with that today, Scott. Elimination game. Troy put up, 12, 13 runs the other day.
They're an unranked team. They can't be favored in this. And respectfully, I think every expectation is on the Mountaineers.
Here's my plan, and this will not shock David at all, Scott, because he knows of my love for the game of golf. I'm going to mount my iPad in the cart, have it on YouTube TV, and watch the game at the same time.
See, that's a solid plan. It takes organization and takes better minds. I like everything about that.
So, Scott, we've got a memorandum of understanding. The vice president is out doing the tour, trying to make the case for this being a good deal. We don't even know what the deal is to be able to tell if it's a good deal or not. And that's just the first question that's flying out there.
He's going to have to convince his fellow Republicans first that this is a good deal, because there's a lot of skepticism here in Washington, including among Republicans who tend to have the president's back on most things. They'll believe it's a good deal when they read the memorandum of understanding. And the president, when asked about this a few moments ago, says he may read aloud the memorandum of understanding with Iran on Friday when it's about to be signed. That may be too long. This is a very fragile thing politically for the administration. They may have to get after something sooner, because there's this void is being filled, isn't it, by Iran, which claims they're getting tens of billions of dollars out of the deal. It's being filled by Democrats who are blasting this as, the Obama administration deal skim milk version with Iran. And until they show something in black and white, they're going to lose a messaging war over a very important thing.
Scott, isn't the difference between what we have now and what happened under President Obama the fact that we did go in? I mean, there's no denying that the nuclear facilities are buried under how many ever mounds of dirt, and enrichment facilities are gone, and these kinds of things. But does that also set the stage for the political and, I guess, strategic reality moving forward? There's little evidence that Iran will ever honor a deal. I mean, is this just going to be our role in the Middle East moving forward? They build these things back 5-6 years from now. We're going to have to go in and do it again. That's just the reality of it.
At this point, who trusts Iran to adhere to a memorandum of understanding? What happens the first time an Israeli missile strikes again in Lebanon? Is all of this tentative and tenuous? And until there's something that seems solid, it seems at least semi-permanent, guys, I don't know how gas prices go down significantly. I'm not sure how costs incurred by this war go down significantly, which means the political impact of this has not stopped even when there's pen to paper. It's hard to believe this now. We're 140 days from the midterm elections. And though there don't appear to be any competitive races at the federal level in West Virginia, and only a scant few in Ohio, and a few in Pennsylvania, there are competitive races in places that there shouldn't be otherwise. This war has caused Iowa to be a battleground state. This war has raised interest in the Senate races in Kansas, in Mississippi, because costs weigh on voters. They're going to have to find some way to get after this more aggressively.
Scott, have lawmakers in Washington indicated to you what a good deal to them would be? What has to be in there for them to go, okay, we can live with this?
A unfettered Strait of Hormuz, where there's no tolling, there's no mines, there's no tenuousness to Iran's role on the shores or in the strait. I think some date certain or some battle plan for getting the nuclear material from beneath that bunker and beneath all that rock and beneath that mountain. Trump has been equivocating over the last 24 hours about how important it is to go in, collect the material, either with international inspectors or with U.S. teams on the ground. And that kind of was the whole premise of this war, was to uproot nuclear material and make permanent Iran's inability to build a nuclear weapon. So if we're getting ambiguous now about when we're going to get the nuclear material, that's not going to seem like a success. He's first got to get the success of his own, or the support of his own party, gentlemen. And I'm not sure he has that right now on Iran.
Not sure he's going to get it either. I want to transition. You've got a piece up on X right now where you're talking with Representative Mike Levin. You talk about several things. Outline your conversation about banning stock trading in Congress. I'm always interested in that. Let them buy index funds, but get rid of single stocks. Is that on the table? Could that ever happen?
There's a momentum forming behind that is surprising even the people championing the idea of banning stock trades by members of Congress. Members of Congress, of course, they have inside information on stuff the market doesn't know about yet. They're literally writing the laws. They're literally getting the briefings from big business about what they want to have happen next. So they know more than we know. And that's a problem, that they are able to capitalize that on and enrich themselves. So there is a bipartisan group that's forming and growing. There are three real pillars of what they call themselves the anti-corruption caucus in Congress wants to do. One is to ban stock trades by members of Congress. Another is to put term limits on the Supreme Court and federal judges. Now, that could get a bipartisan bit of support, but it depends on who's the president at the time. There'll be bipartisan support, but it'll alternate who supports it and who doesn't. And the third thing is having some congressional oversight in the future of presidential pardons, where a 2/3 majority, like a supermajority, could overrule a presidential pardon if it looks really dirty. That would never fly before the end of a presidency, but they think there's a possibility in the future of getting that passed because both parties like to combat corruption. And if you could find that sweet moment, that sweet spot where neither party thinks they're being disadvantaged, those things could go through.
Good luck. They like to fight corruption when they're fighting the other party's corruption.
That's right.
Their corruption, it's just speaking broadly here, bro. It either doesn't exist or, well, we just won't pay attention to it. Cool. All right. I like your optimism that there's bipartisan support there. Good luck.
They will never, ever pass term limits for judges for the reasons you just described. But those stock bans, those stock trades, that's the kind of thing that could fly, but it would probably be in the waning months of a Congress or a presidency.
Well, I mean, look, if you're going to term limit judges, let's go all the way and term limit ourselves. And to your point, that opens up a door that no one wants to open. So.
Scott McFarlane joining us, Chief Washington Correspondent, Midas Touch. Of course, you can see him on YouTube. Scott McFarlane reports. What else going on in D.C. that maybe we're not paying attention? There's always something else going on over here while we're watching over there.
You can make it this what you want, but they are literally, gentlemen, pouring hydrogen peroxide into the reflecting pool to get it to stop being swamp green with algae on top. Nobody would otherwise care too much about this, but the administration did make a big deal out of how they're going to turn the reflecting pool into a beautiful U.S. flag or swimming pool blue ahead of July 4th. It looks like crap. I mean, it looks awful. So they're going to have to fix that. And I guess peroxide and bleach is the attempt for today. We'll see if they find something better before July 4th. But it's going to be a big event. The president's giving a rally on the 250th birthday on the mall. People will be surrounding the reflecting pool. They'll notice if it looks like olive green.
It's like when your swimming pool pump goes out and you realize it 4 days too late.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, if you want it to look like a swimming pool, you're going to have to make it a swimming pool. You're going to have some kind of system, I guess, to filter. Scott, very quickly, I do want to ask you the remark about Michelle Obama on the South Lawn. What are people telling you? Do people care? Do they not care? What are you hearing?
Dana White denounced it, head of the UFC. That was not insignificant. Dave Portnoy, who is got a big audience of UFC fans, denounced it. That's not a small thing. The White House has not. I think Republicans here in Washington are going to get a lot of questions about that this week, and they don't want to be talking about that. They want to talk about lower prices. They want to talk about things their constituents really care about. And this is charitably a distraction. Those who have denounced it publicly have gotten pushback from some of the more ardent Trump allies, and that's surprising. It was a misogynistic smear, and whether you think it was in a joking fashion or not, there are a number of people who think it was in terribly bad taste, especially at the White House with the president in the audience. I don't think it goes away as fast as some would like.
Scott McFarlane. You can watch Scott McFarlane Reports on YouTube, Chief Washington Correspondent for Midas Touch. Scott, always appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
If anybody asks, I'm working from 2 to 4 p.m.
You got it. You got it, Scott. Thank you, buddy. Coming up, we will check in with our unpaid, unofficial, unqualified World Cup correspondent. 2 good soccer minutes with producer Ethan. That's coming up. Your text as well, 304-TALK-304. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
A stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Plan a holiday getaway to the 64th Annual Mountain State Art and Craft Fair, July 2nd through the 4th at Cedar Lakes in Ripley, West Virginia. Shop for handmade Appalachian crafts, enjoy live music, a quilt show, and don't forget the great food. Celebrate America's 250th at America's largest small-town Independence Day celebration. Learn more at RipleyCVB.com. It's all happening on Independence Day weekend in beautiful Ripley. Once you do it, you'll be back. Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen will join us coming up next hour. We'll talk to him about data centers and Greg Carey from Omaha. The latest as we get set for first pitch this afternoon between WVU and Troy. It's an elimination game in Omaha today. It's win or go home. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is caught up in World Cup action. I have actually started to enjoy the European fans who are getting their first taste of America. Such things as hot dogs and hamburgers and fast food. And they're loving it, from what I can tell. For an update, we turn to our unofficial, unqualified, and unpaid World Cup correspondent producer, Ethan. All right, hang on. Jake, are you ready with a timer?
Well,
hang on. Your 2 minutes hasn't started yet, Ethan.
He's got a timer.
All right, Jake, are you ready with a timer? Are we good? I'm waiting for it to pop up on the screen. All right, Ethan, your 2 minutes started. Go.
All right. Well, the USA look a lot better than expected. The United States defeated Paraguay 4-1. Some other scores around there, Brazil and Morocco, two teams that I think can go very far in this tournament, drew 1-1. Scotland has a lot of people around the U.S. Rooting for them because of how they showed up at the Red Sox stadium singing the walking and all that good stuff, and they're really taking the baseball world by storm. Biggest score line in match day one so far has been Germany. They scored 7 goals against Curacao, who's in the World Cup for the first time, so they beat them 7-1. Biggest surprise, one of the players for me, in my opinion, was Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire, however you want to say it. Their best player, Diomande, put on a show against Ecuador, and they won against Ecuador 1-0. Sweden
Diomande,
scored.
big fan.
Yeah, Diomande. Yeah, very good player. Sweden, they beat Tunisia 5-1. Alexander Isak got on the scoreboard along with Arsenal's Victor Gyökeres. But the biggest surprise of the entire tournament so far, first-time World Cup participants, Cape Verde drew a 0-0 draw to European champions Spain. And we also have some other games set to go on today. France will play Senegal. Iraq will play Norway. Algeria will play Argentina. And at midnight, Austria will play Jordan. And then there's some other games tomorrow.
Let's talk about U.S. versus Australia.
Quickly, 10 seconds.
We could draw, we could lose. Well, you got to give me more than 10 seconds. I want to know what happens. What happens if we beat, draw, or lose? What's the path look like?
So with the way that the standings work out, once you get a win, you're in pretty good place of a lock for the knockout stage. The question is how good do you want to be in your group position? Do you want to win the group? Do you want to get second and have a guaranteed place in the knockout stages? Or do you want to chance it and be one of the best third place teams? Normally, if you have a win, that gets you into the third place conversation automatically, but I think the U.S. will probably want to take over this group and win it. These are the two teams that have won their match day one, so if you win this one, you're in a firm, good place to advance far in the knockout stages. They've really impressed me. They were a lot better than I was expecting.
All right, Ethan, I gave you 2:30. That's never going to happen again, but I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, too. Thank you.
All right, producer Ethan, our unqualified, unpaid, and unofficial World Cup correspondent. Take a break, wrap up hour number 1. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
As West Virginia takes their shot at glory in Omaha and captures the nation's attention, West Virginia businesses are building for the future. When it's time for a new medical facility, hospital expansion, historic renovation, auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, trust the team that's been helping build West Virginia for more than 25 years. Jarrett Construction delivers design build, construction management, and general contracting services throughout the state of West Virginia. Visit jarrett-construction.com today. WV030133.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
WVMetroNews.com, the only website you need.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $283 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $430 million. So go ahead, play today. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. Speaking of the World Cup, did you see the Japanese team of what they did with the stadium? They cleaned up all the garbage. West Virginians could learn a thing about that. Quit throwing your garbage out the car, hillbilly, says the texter.
Keep it better than you found it. Make it better than you found it.
Notice all the foreign visitors who are here for the World Cup love everything that is Middle America. They love Buc-ee's. They love Cracker Barrel. That's true. They're not hyping New York. They're not recording love for Los Angeles or Chicago. Just a newsflash to those same America-hating blue cities. They're praising us, the middle of America, because that is who we are as a nation, really are.
You know what that tells me? When people get a taste of Americana and capitalism, they love it. They love it. They're getting a taste of it. What a great benefit, introducing those people who don't have those things anymore to what we are here in America.
304 Talk 304. Are you guys going to acknowledge that the reflecting pool was designed to actually reflect the Washington Monument rather than serve as a freakishly long swimming pool type feature with clean water? If it does not reflect anything, it should be paved over like Trump did with the White House Rose Garden, says the texter. 304 Talk 304. This is what they love. Texter sends along a picture of pepperoni rolls. Yeah, this is the second day in a row food has come up during this hour of the show. Lunch is still another hour away. And now I'd like to have a pepperoni roll or two.
They look pretty good, actually.
They do. I'm not sure where you got them from, but they look delicious. Coming up second hour, we're going to talk to Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen. He was among the Democrats talking data centers yesterday at the interim meetings. We'll dive into that a little bit later on. Greg Carey from Omaha. This is Talkline on MetroNews for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Hey, thanks for tuning in as always, and got you your latest on a Tuesday, June 16th, past the midway point of June already. Yesterday in Charleston had some below average temps yesterday with that northwest wind flow. Had a high of 75, low at 56, well below average for both of those. Average high was 83. Middle of the week, starting Wednesday night, becoming likely Thursday and continuing Thursday night. I'll watch for areas of the state, especially center and west and south there, some moderate to heavy rain, along with some strong to severe thunderstorm potential with our next cold front interacting with our West Virginia atmosphere. Today we have high pressure working through the area today. Some morning dense fog, low visibility for your morning drive perhaps, and then generally a mix of sun and clouds with mostly sunny skies and comfortable levels of humidity for the time of the year. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Cities like Chicago, high of 70 tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center, areas of Indiana and Illinois, they are watching an expected severe thunderstorm outbreak tomorrow, so I'll keep eyes on that. For our friends to the northwest in the Gulf, Invest 90. I'm keeping eyes on in the tropics as well. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs around 70 or so, low to mid 70s. Mostly sunny skies, a comfortable weather day. To the east in the Panhandle, highs approaching 80, some upper 60s in the higher elevations today and dry with a mix of sun and clouds. Again, 70s to some approaching 80 in the lower elevations, 60s and some low 70s up in the highs. And down to the south, spots like Huntington near 80 today, but generally mid 70s to near 80 for highs today. Warmer with some increasing humidity and a southwest breeze Wednesday, high of 86, chance of showers and storms. Wednesday night, a warm low at 71, 87 Thursday, rain and storms likely, chance on Friday. Saturday's likely dry, chance of showers and storms late on Father's Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of Metro News Talkline. Glad you can be part of our day. Listening in on our great radio affiliates across the state, watching on the Metro News TV app. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. Coming up a little bit later, Greg Carey will join us from Omaha. We'll get an update from Charles Schwab Stadium as the Mountaineers get ready to take on the Troy Trojans. A rematch from the opening round game at the College World Series. We'll get an update from Greg. In fact, the team should be arriving at the stadium in the next 10 minutes or so to prepare for that elimination game this afternoon. We've got pregame coverage for you over at the website, wvmetronews.com. With all that, say good morning, TJ Meadows in the Encova Insurance Studios South. Good morning, sir.
Morning. I can't help myself. True story during the break. I was on my feed, and I don't know why this happened, but the top, offering was the reflecting pool in D.C., and they're dumping in the algae, and I see the color. The very next story was a local story here in Charleston. They had the rescue riverboat out on the canal. Looks the same. The water looks exactly the same from the reflecting pool to the canal. I don't know what that says, but I thought it was interesting.
Hey, maybe you can throw a line in the reflecting pool, catch you some crappie out there somewhere.
There you go.
Just saying. We'll get Chris Lawrence on that and find out. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK-304. We mentioned interim legislative meetings in Canaan Valley this week. Democrats who were attending the interim legislative meetings made a pitch for changes to West Virginia's law governing certified high-impact data centers. Of course, data centers are a hot topic in Davis and Parsons in Tucker County, where there is a proposed facility in that area of the state. One of the Democrats attending the press conference yesterday and spoke during the press conference, Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen, who joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. Delegate Hansen, good morning. Good to talk to you again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
What was the message you wanted to get out yesterday during that news conference in Tucker County?
The message is that the Republicans passed a data center bill a year and a half ago, and it's got flaws in it, and we need to fix those flaws. And the most important issue is that they think they know better than the residents of Tucker County or Davis or Thomas. They don't think that local governments should have a say and be able to enforce their own ordinances, and that's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Delegate Hansen, what of the fact that many local governments have no zoning commissions? They have no experience in zoning. They haven't any infrastructure in order to be able to accept any kind of request and rule on it. Isn't that a problem?
Well, that's a misconception about the data center bill, because the data center bill does override zoning, but it also overrides any local ordinances, whether or not it's related to zoning. And it specifically lists examples in the bill of what gets overridden. And those are things like ordinances about noise pollution or light pollution or code enforcement or building inspections. So those are all things that are explicitly overridden in the data center bill that have nothing to do with zoning.
Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen is joining us. So is there a middle ground between what is currently in House Bill 2014 and giving more control back to the counties for ordinances like you mentioned that could be applicable in these situations?
Well, the best solution, and what's done in most states, is just allow local governments to enforce their own laws and ordinances. But when the data center bill was up and I raised these concerns, the House Democrats had an amendment to restore local control in this bill. But the pushback that I got from Republicans at the time was, don't worry about it. We're going to have some statewide standards that all the data centers are going to have to meet. I don't think that's the best solution. I guess that's a middle ground, but it's already been a year and a half, and I've seen no movement in any statewide standards.
Talk to me about this split. The data center bill has a split, I guess, of the tax revenue that would come in, 50% for a personal income tax reduction, 30% goes to the county or counties where the data center is located, 10% to all counties on a per capita basis. It goes on. Do you want to open that back up? And if so, what changes do you want to make to the allocations?
I do want to open that back up. And we had a bill to do that last session. It was House Bill 4822. And it made a few changes and kept some of the allocations the same. It increased the amount that goes back to the county. It also sent a portion of the funds back to the county school system in the impacted county. And it took away the 50% that goes to the personal income tax reduction, because that's primarily tax cuts for the wealthiest West Virginians, and I don't believe that's an appropriate use of funds for this situation. So they redirected those funds from the wealthiest West Virginians to the affected counties, to the affected school systems, and to help stabilize insurance coverage for state employees, because that's been a big issue over the last several years and an issue that deserves a dedicated funding stream.
Talking to Evan Hansen, Monongalia County Delegate. Democrats in the House held a news conference yesterday during interim meetings being held in Canaan Valley. What environmental concerns do you have, Evan, with the development of these data centers and the lack of oversight or lack of transparency?
Yeah, the biggest issue that the data center bill was silent on was our water resources. Questions about where the water's coming from and where it's going to and how it might impact current and future users of the water. So we had a bill to address that, a pretty comprehensive bill last session. It was House Bill 4832. The Republicans didn't run that bill, but we had an opportunity to offer something similar to that as an amendment because the data center rule was going through the legislative process. But essentially what we would like to see is for the data center developers to be transparent about it with the local community and with the state agencies up front. Tell us where you're getting the water from. Is it from a local stream or groundwater or maybe from a big river?
Don't they have to do that in the permitting process? Don't they have to do that in the permitting process?
No, especially for groundwater, and there's no permitting for surface water withdrawals in the state of West Virginia. When there was a debate about that about 10 plus years ago, they implemented a reporting system. So large water users have to report after the fact how much water they're withdrawing, but there's no permitting. There's no requirement for approval ahead of time.
Talking to Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen. Evan, why do you believe there is this pushback on data center development? We always see some pushback when you have development, obviously. Not everybody's going to agree, but it seems like data centers have been singled out. Why do you think that is? Or maybe they haven't. Maybe I'm misreading it.
Well, I think people are very concerned about data centers. They're a little bit different than a lot of other types of development, especially these hyperscale developments, because they use a very large amount of electricity. So it gets into questions about air pollution and grid stability and electric rates. So it touches on those things that people care about. And they use a lot of water. So people in West Virginia are concerned about water resources. It's arguably our most precious resource. And so we really need to make sure that people have the best information possible. And I guess one of the challenges is how much information the data center developers are not sharing with the local community. So I think being more transparent about it would help dispel some of the concerns to ensure that people are dealing with facts and not just rumors.
Well, I want to rely on facts, and I don't want to make assumptions. So I want to ask you point blank. In your opinion, would West Virginia be better off if it had 0 data centers?
No, I don't think we should ban data centers. I think we already have some, at least some of the old school data centers. And I think there's pros and cons to any type of development, including data centers. And I understand that they do bring some jobs, especially construction jobs, and they can bring in significant tax revenues. And so that's important. And I also believe that there are areas in West Virginia that would welcome data centers. But I do think we need to preserve the ability of local communities to enforce their laws and ordinances. And I don't think that's mutually exclusive. I think we can do both.
Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen joining us. Are you still up in Canaan Valley? You still up there for today?
I attended my committee meetings yesterday, and then I attended the town hall up in Davis last night, but I had to come home to attend a couple personal things.
So was the town hall last night about data centers by chance?
It was. It had me and Delegate Akers. It had Chris Morris, the person in charge of the data center developments for the state.
What was that discussion like last night?
It was a good discussion. There were a couple hundred people there from the community because, as you know, it's a hot topic there. But it was a civilized discussion, and we were able to air different sides of the issue, and I think that's what we need to do more of.
I'm curious, as you look at this, would you crystallize an example, doesn't have to be here in West Virginia, obviously, of a developer who you think is doing this right? What does it look like, in your opinion, to do it right? Maybe that came up at last night's dialogue.
Well, in my opinion, to do it right is not just to reach out to Chris Morris and the Department of Commerce for the certification, and not just to reach out to local legislators and county commissioners to share information, but to make sure information is actually shared with concerned citizens. And I understand that there are sensitivities with sharing a lot of the types of information, that certain data and information needs to be confidential. But if you're really going to get the support of the local community, they need to have the facts before them on some of these hot button issues. So I think that's what it takes to do it right, being sensitive to these issues and sharing information as early as possible.
Monongalia County Delegate Evan Hansen. You can read Brad's story from yesterday's news conference over at our website right now, wvmetronews.com. Evan, we appreciate the perspective this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Take a break, come back, get to some text. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios. Back right after this.
As West Virginia takes their shot at glory in Omaha and captures the nation's attention, West Virginia businesses are building for the future. When it's time for a new medical facility, hospital expansion, historic renovation, auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, trust the team that's been helping build West Virginia for more than 25 years. Jarrett Construction delivers design build, construction management, and general contracting services throughout the state of West Virginia. Visit jarrett-construction.com today. WV030133.
Communication is more than words. It's how we live and connect. At WVU Medicine Speech Therapy, our experts help children and adults improve speech, language, cognition, and swallowing. From stroke recovery to pediatric communication needs, we create personalized plans to help you move forward with confidence. Ask your provider for a referral. Visit wvumedicine.org/outpatient rehab or call 855-WVU-CARE.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door, and now is the perfect time to connect. Tax dollars are helping expand broadband access across West Virginia, and now is the perfect time to connect. Free installation, free equipment, no contract, local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net. Connects, protects, and perfects. We'll get some of your text, 304 Talk 304. A couple of thoughts after our discussion there with Delegate Evan Hansen. By the way, if you would like to learn more about data centers, go to the WV Metro News TV app. And right now, the latest 2 episodes of A State of Mind with Hoppy Kercheval. There is a good hour or so with Chris Morris, director of the West Virginia Data Economy Office, as well as a sit-down, in-depth interview with Amy Margolis, executive director of Tucker United, talking about that proposed data center in Tucker County. In-depth, long, very interesting conversations. Check those out right now over on the Metro News TV app. I had this thought listening to Delegate Hansen, and some of the things I was reading a story from. In fact, I got to pull it up here. Where was that from this morning? Oh, I'd love to tell you, TJ, but I didn't save the Reuters. My apologies.
No worries.
About data centers. The conversations we are having about data centers and the pros and cons, does this feel very similar to the conversation we were having 10, maybe 15 years ago at this point about fracking and hydraulic fracturing and local control and the impacts here and whether or not it feels very similar, and it feels, and I'm not accusing Delegate Hansen of this at all, it feels a lot of the same groups who were opposed to fracking are using a lot of the same arguments to try to oppose data centers. Feels like the same thing, just a different target. It's not fracking this time, it's data centers. Maybe I'm off, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like to me with a lot of this conversation.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think that's a perfect example of how we have failed in this state to change our mindset about how friendly we are to business. You and I talked about this last week. We talked about it the week before. We look for a way to say no here in West Virginia to almost everything. It is our default. It's interesting. I was talking with a friend of mine. He's out of Columbus. Back in the day, he and I did some projects across the U.S., deployed capital and built some facilities. And he tuned into the show, wanted to know what I was doing now. He'd been listening off and on for a while. And he said, you know what he told me? He said, I got to tell you, I wouldn't deploy capital in West Virginia. I said, you're not alone, brother. You're not alone. We make it hard. And no, people don't have to agree with me on that, but it's the reality. We make it hard. And there are places that capital can go where it's easier. And that's why I think it's a fair question to ask Hansen, are we better off without data centers? Do we have an economic plan that can grow the state without data centers? I'm all ears. But no, you hit it, man. That is a great example, actually.
And I'll use to draw on that analogy just a little bit further, TJ. And one of the reasons I think state lawmakers were concerned about municipalities and local control going too far, I go back to Morgantown City Council. This is 2011. It wasn't too long after I first actually started with WAJR. They tried to ban fracturing a mile outside the city. They tried to go outside the city limits because nobody's fracking in Morgantown, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. Try to go a mile outside the city limits and enforce a prohibition on hydraulic fracturing. Now, ultimately, they lost in court. But to that point, TJ, if you're wanting to propose a development, propose data center somewhere, and here you go, well, we don't want to have to deal with XYZ over there, who may try to enforce ordinances, may try to do this, that, and the other, because there is a precedent for it. I think that's what lawmakers had in mind when they set out and said, we're going to try to come up with some uniform rules here rather than every 55 different counties and how many ever municipalities trying to weigh in and making it burdensome on trying to develop these facilities.
Let me draw another comparison, and you tell me whether or not this holds.
All right.
And I'm not singling out the delegate either. I'm making generalizations about both sides here. It seems to me like many of the people that oppose growth economically in this state, whether it's fracking, whether it's data centers, whatever it is, there's always a concern. Those are the same people that constantly call for revitalized infrastructure in this state. Oh, we need new water lines. Well, guess what? We're going to have to run a water line 10 miles that'll serve 2 homes. That's not economic. I hate it, but it's not economic. But they are the same people that rail against the economic prosperity that could pay for said infrastructure and make it affordable. You can't have it both ways. Am I the only one that sees a disconnect in that?
No, I don't think you're the only one that sees a disconnect there. I think, and I hate to use, when we start saying I think, it seems, TJ, we have this, I don't think it's a default no, like you pointed out. Mm-hmm. I think we swing the pendulum too far in that direction of we want to make sure you're not going to screw us. To put it very bluntly, we swing it so far this way to make sure you're not going to, big companies going to come in, take whatever they want, make money and leave, that we end up in that default position of no. And we end up in that position of going, well, we need X, Y, and Z, but we don't want to do this to get it. That we end up in this, self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will.
Swinging too far the other way.
Yeah, we swung too far the other way.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
I get you.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. We'll get to some of your texts coming up. Carey is in Omaha today. We'll check in with Greg. He's at Charles Schwab Stadium. No offense to Charles Schwab. Just doesn't have the same ring as Rosenblatt, but, I'm one for nostalgia every once in a while. We'll check in with Greg from Omaha, get an update as the Mountaineers prepare for battle on the diamond with the men of Troy. Coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. 304 Talk 304 is the text line, and 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Hey, thanks for tuning in as always, and got you your latest on a Tuesday, June 16th, past the midway point of June already. Yesterday in Charleston had some below average temps yesterday with that northwest wind flow. Had a high of 75, low at 56, well below average for both of those. Average high was 83. Middle of the week, starting Wednesday night, becoming likely Thursday and continuing Thursday night. I'll watch for areas of the state, especially center and west and south there, some moderate to heavy rain, along with some strong to severe thunderstorm potential with our next cold front interacting with our West Virginia atmosphere. Today we have high pressure working through the area today. Some morning dense fog, low visibility for your morning drive perhaps, and then generally a mix of sun and clouds with mostly sunny skies and comfortable levels of humidity for the time of the year. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Cities like Chicago, high of 70 tomorrow. The Storm Prediction Center, areas of Indiana and Illinois, they are watching an expected severe thunderstorm outbreak tomorrow, so I'll keep eyes on that. For our friends to the northwest in the Gulf, Invest 90. I'm keeping eyes on in the tropics as well. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs around 70 or so, low to mid-70s. Mostly sunny skies, a comfortable weather day. To the east in the Panhandle, highs approaching 80, some upper 60s in the higher elevations today and dry with a mix of sun and clouds. Again, 70s to some, approaching 80 in the lower elevations, 60s and some low 70s up in the highs. And down to the south, spots like Huntington near 80 today, but generally mid-70s to near 80 for highs today. Warmer with some increasing humidity and a southwest breeze Wednesday, high of 86, chance of showers and storms. Wednesday night, a warm low at 71, 87 Thursday, rain and storms likely, chance on Friday. Saturday's likely dry, chance of showers and storms late on Father's Day.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
Greg Carey will join us from Omaha a couple of minutes from now. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. May not feel like it. Actually, kind of does this time of year. Boat weather is here, and it is time to head out to the rivers and the lakes. In fact, summer officially starts, next? Does it start on Sunday, Father's Day?
Sunday's Father's Day?
Yeah, wow. It is. It is. I think the start of summer as well, officially. Yeah. The point is, you know what Dad would really like for Father's Day?
Lay it on me, brother.
How about a pontoon or a fishing boat? Uh-huh. What dad wouldn't want that for Father's Day? I'm just saying. Check out all the great deals at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Let's get some text in. 304-TALK, 304. I'm an independent voter, and I just wanted to thank the Democrats for putting the pressure on Trump to end a war that's hit the middle class hard. Keep up the pressure, says the texter. People have issues with House Bill 2014 taking away local control, and they won't even tell us who the data center belongs to. They're being very shady about it, says the texter.
I know who the one in Putnam County belongs to. Belongs to Google.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Okay. Fine.
Well, look, here, I have no problem. Here's the thing, TJ. With that conversation with Delegate Hansen, I may not agree with his assessment of everything. I tend to not agree with a lot of people about a lot of things. But it is at least, I find it helpful for the conversation that folks are asking questions and asking for answers. It's usually not a good thing when everybody just goes along with it and nobody asks questions about it. So I do appreciate that he is asking questions and asking for information. And I would like the process to be as transparent as possible. Some things can't be released because of proprietary reasons. When you're in the business world. So I do appreciate that he's out there asking questions. And let me throw this at you, TJ. I don't know if we've had this conversation or not. If voters feel they are not being listened to or their voices are not being heard, could this have an impact in November in some of these House and possibly even state Senate races when it comes to folks headed? I mean, there's at least some voters we know are already kind of irritated with decisions that have been made about primaries. I don't know if this will have a factor. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but if it's front of mind and you feel like your rep isn't listening to you, I don't know what kind of impact this has in November, if it has an impact. I don't know.
Well, it absolutely should. That's your remedy.
Right.
That's your remedy to go to the ballot box. But here's what's sad. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so you'll pardon me. Even in a good year, our turnout sucks.
Oh, yeah. It always has.
How many people that gripe and complain would actually go and do something about it? And if they don't like what is going on with data centers, pull the lever for Hansen or someone who, shares that point of view versus not. Decisions are made by people who show up, and we have a problem showing up in this state more so than others. Again, it's disheartening. And in theory, you're absolutely right. And that would produce change, but I question whether people will take the time or not.
Texter says, I believe the opposition to data centers, primarily from the left, is because they hate the billionaire class. Local development, jobs, and increased tax revenue are casualties of that ideology. Put data centers on reclaimed mines, strip mines, says the texter. That would be a great idea. There's just two things, TJ, and you can probably speak to this better than I can. One, there are any number of problems with mined sites and developing on those, number one. Number two, they want to put these data centers in areas where you can access energy, water, natural gas, whatever they're going to use, because they need to make the power to make the data centers run. In some of these places, there's no access.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be great.
A lot of the old mine sites have the electrical infrastructure because they tied in to the larger transmission grid and served off of that. So some of that is still there, but then you still have the challenge of getting there. A couple of folks have told me, depending on the site, you may also have the problem with, can the ground take it?
Right.
In terms of the building and engineering principles that I know nothing about, but with the facility sink, I guess. Mm-hmm. So there are several hurdles.
That's a problem when we build anything anywhere in West Virginia. Yeah. Is the ground undermined? Well, we got to fill it. Got to backfill. 304-TALK, 304. A couple of more texts here. Couple of baseball texts. Our great West Virginia baseball team either wins today and moves up and on to another game or loses and goes home. Whatever happens today, this team has been extra special, winning the most games in our history and earned their first time in the College World Series. Congrats to this team and coaches and fans, says the texter.
I think they've done an outstanding job. I don't know if we're still going to connect with Greg or not. I'll steal some of his thunder. I thought he had an excellent piece talking about fan response to some of those errors. Be a fan. Support your guys. Life happens. Most of the people I think that are complaining about those errors probably couldn't get off the couch and catch a ground ball from my 7-year-old daughter.
Hey, Dave, nice Barry McKnight, that's the Troy play-by-play announcer, impression with the men of Troy before the break. When you pick up on the subtleties, folks, that's why you're the best audience in the business.
The men of Troy.
The men of Troy. 304-TALK, 304, that's the text line, 800-765-8255. We'll connect with Greg Carey from Omaha when we return. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
As West Virginia takes their shot at glory in Omaha and captures the nation's attention, West Virginia businesses are building for the future. When it's time for a new medical facility, hospital expansion, historic renovation, auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, trust the team that's been helping build West Virginia for more than 25 years. Jarrett Construction delivers design build, construction management, and general contracting services throughout the state of West Virginia. Visit jarrett-construction.com today. WV030133.
You're listening to Talkline on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
On the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. and it's very important to us.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Win or go home today in Omaha, where WVU will take on Troy. This MetroNews update from Omaha is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Right on time, right on budget. Call Jarrett Construction, license number WV030133. Let's go out to Charles Schwab Stadium, where MetroNews Sports' Greg Carey is standing by. Greg, good morning. The team is in the ballpark. What can we expect today in this opening round rematch with Troy? Good morning, by the way.
Hey, good morning to you, Dave. Yes, West Virginia just arriving here at Charles Schwab Field about 20 minutes or so ago, and the Mountaineers will begin warming up for an elimination game against a opponent they are now familiar with in Troy, obviously a rematch of the Men's College World Series opener from Friday. And I think for West Virginia, this is a spot that they've been able to kind of thrive in throughout the season in some of these pressure moments and putting some tough losses and even some of the euphoric wins in the past and staying present. That's going to be key again. But obviously a big storyline as we get closer to first pitch will be who is getting the start for West Virginia. And, you would expect signs kind of pointing to maybe Dawson Montesa, who helped prolong the season in that first elimination game against Wake Forest in the Morgantown Regional. But really, in this spot, you would think it's pretty much all hands on deck with the exception of Maxiell, who threw 7 innings Sunday night against North Carolina, exceeded 100 pitches. So, for both sides, you would expect just about every pitcher besides maybe one or two to be available, and you've got to be cognizant of obviously in win-now mode and playing like there is no tomorrow, because there will not be for the loser of this game. But the Mountaineers are going to have to produce some more offense. That's without question. This is a Troy team that has hit the ball exceptionally well throughout the entirety of the NCAA tournament, and they lead through the two. Everybody has now played 2 games in Omaha. They're leading the Men's College World Series with 23 hits and a .303 batting average. So certainly you're going to need to exceed the 2 runs and probably get at least 5 or 6 to feel good about your chances in this one.
So, Greg, as you reconcile this reality that you bring up, the fact you have to win today to get to Carolina, when it comes to pitching, is it more pitchers, less pitches per outing? How do you manage the two, knowing that you've got Carolina next and knowing that they've got your number, so to speak?
Yeah, and, it's going to be very interesting to see because, West Virginia's kind of been in this spot in the Morgantown Regional. The difference here is you do at least have the luxury of having yesterday off, and with now 3 days of rest for both Chanson Cole and Ian Korn, you would expect both to be available in some capacity. I'm very interested to see what, if anything, West Virginia does with Chanson Cole today. He's been an outstanding pitcher for the majority of this season, but he got hit pretty hard, and Troy did a lot of damage against him on Friday, and it was pretty interesting after that game. Trojans coach Skylar Meade said that, they didn't want to publicize this, obviously, going into the matchup, but they liked the matchup with Chanson Cole, and Steve Sabins noted that they had stepped up into the batter's box some because Chanson Cole likes to really thrive on working his sinker down, and that way they were able to hit it before it was kind of, getting to the spots where he generally thrives. And you look back at that start, he didn't make it 3 innings. He gave up 7 hits over the final 10 batters that he faced. Obviously, Ian Korn came in and was maybe the top reason that West Virginia won that game. So with both those guys having 3 days off, you would expect to probably see at least one of them. If West Virginia can get in a position where they can win this game without using Chanson Cole, I think it goes without saying that he would unquestionably be your starter tomorrow against North Carolina, and then he would be on the 4 full days rest.
Greg has a commentary this morning at WVMetroNews.com. As Mountaineers ready for elimination game, harping on errors does no good. My favorite line of it, Greg, was about halfway through. and you encapsulate the game from play to play, pitch to pitch, at bat to at bat perfectly. Now, you were talking about the errors, obviously, but I think this perfectly encapsulates how baseball players have to handle their business. Baseball is a game predicated on handling failure, not dwelling on it. Whether it's an error, whether it is a walk, whether it is a bad at bat, it is how you adjust and come back the next time. That is what really determines how you are going to play, the kind of player you're going to be, and the kind of team. And I'm interested to see today, I think, Greg, and you know better than I do, these players have already put what happened a couple of days ago behind them, and they are ready to move on to the next at-bat, the next opportunity, the next pitch.
Yeah, and it's been a spot, we saw it, in the Big 12 Tournament Championship. West Virginia was handled by Kansas. Obviously, they had some time off before the NCAAs. But, even going back to the regular season, a 22-run loss in the backyard brawl in a midweek game to Pitt.
Yeah.
And even some of the really, crazy wins, the come-from-behind wins, West Virginia has done a really good job of not looking back and, just staying present. Obviously, we know what kind of a role that, the errors in the seventh inning from Tyrus Hall and Brody Kresser played the other night. But you got to, keep in mind, West Virginia only scored 2 runs in that game. They've won 2 games this season scoring 2 or fewer runs, and only 4 games this season scoring 3 or fewer runs. This is a sport where, you've got to score some. West Virginia never scored again after the 4th inning. Obviously, the errors certainly changed the complexion of the game, and North Carolina, you tip your cap to them because they were able to fully capitalize on it. But today, I think you've got to, put the ball in play a little bit more, try to barrel some balls up. Obviously, a home run or 2 would certainly help, but I think a lot of this game is going to start when you look at the pitching, obviously being a top storyline. On the other side, West Virginia does have to produce more offense. They've been an outstanding offensive team for much of this season, but so is Troy. And where Troy has struggled some is with their pitching staff. And even in the games here, they've lost 7-5 and they've won 12-8. So, logic dictates you're going to need to get in that 6-7 run range to feel good about your chances of prolonging the season.
Give us a sense of the crowd. Has Mountaineer Nation been able to persevere and stick around for this game today? Will they show up?
Yeah, I still think there's a pretty strong turn. I can tell you yesterday, I went down to some of the merchandise tents and was actually talking with one of the employees who had told me that they had just got a new shipment of some West Virginia stuff in, and she said to me she couldn't believe how fast it was selling and how many West Virginia fans were here. I think it's been kind of a surprise story and a nice story. I don't think necessarily that a lot of people in Omaha expected this many people to be here representing West Virginia, but as we all know, especially when the Mountaineers are having a successful season and it's quite the story, they get basically a backing from the majority of the state as well as a lot of alums that live in various areas. So it may not be quite as many people that were here over the weekend. Obviously, you're talking about, having been here for 5 or 6 days now if you were at the first game, but I would certainly expect them to have a strong turnout.
MetroNews Sports' Greg Carey, he'll have you covered from Omaha later today. First pitch is 2 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, you can watch it on ESPN. We'll have post-game coverage for you over at WVMetroNews.com. Greg, thank you very much. We'll check in again, hopefully playing tomorrow.
All right, appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Absolutely. Greg Carey, MetroNews Sports, out in Omaha. Of course, this Omaha update brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction. License number WV030133. We'll get some more text. We'll wrap it up for a Tuesday. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
In West Virginia, community is everything. It's about showing up for each other.
Vin Salengo and the team at Salengo Law don't just work here, they live here, proudly sponsoring local events and giving back to the neighborhoods they love. So when you're facing a serious injury, trust the local team that's always in your corner. They spent over 25 years fighting for West Virginia families. Salengo Law. Get results, not excuses. Visit us at salengolaw.com.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Wake up with the MetroNews Radio Network and get informed with the morning news.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $283 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $430 million. So go ahead, play today. Couple of texts, 304-TALK, 304. Texter says, this game today cannot be one plagued by amateur errors. Troy proved in both their games against us and their stomping of Ole Miss, they came to play. They came to win. They came to win it all, says the texter. Well, everybody did that who went to Omaha. But yeah, you got to play mistake-free. Hey, look, baseball's a simple game. It's strikes, outs, and runs. We just kind of complicate it from that point on.
You mean the team that scores the most runs wins?
Yeah.
I mean, is that the groundbreaking news we're covering?
Pretty simple game. Throw strikes, get outs, score runs. From there, it gets a little more complicated.
Grip it and rip it.
Hey, buddy. Dave and TJ. I was a registered Republican for more than 40 years. I switched to independent and plan to vote for every available Democrat in November, and I encourage all independents to do the same. The only people in favor of the billionaires are the fiscal conservatives. They're even losing the stereotypical MAGA folks and the fundamentalist Christians. The window of support is narrowing to a keyhole, says the texter.
If we had more fiscal conservatives in this country, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in.
Let me see. Democrats had nothing to do with putting any kind of a pressure on Trump. Give me a break. I love seeing all of Trump's old tweets coming up in social media where he's criticizing Obama for the Iran deal, and that's the Trump's 10-year-old criticisms of the Obama deal work just as well for his very own Iran sweetheart deal. Look, we'll analyze the deal when we actually see the deal. If it's a bad deal, it's a bad deal. If it's a good deal, we'll tell you people will tell you it's a good deal. You don't care what I think. But we got to see it first. I don't know if it's a good deal or a bad deal.
You got to give Trump credit for actually going in and getting rid of the facilities and actually physically doing something. That won't prevent it long term. We're going to have to do this again in, 5, 10 years? I mean, that's the reality with Iran that no one wants to say. Can't trust him. Never will be able to trust him. No. Do whatever deal you want. We'll have to do this again in 5 to 10 years, period.
This texter says, bring on the data centers. There is not a zoning misconception. And you, texter, will get the final word. Tomorrow, we go on the road again. We'll be at West Virginia Wesleyan College tomorrow for the West Virginia Scholar Program. We'll be in Buchanan. We'll talk to some of the finalists. We'll get you ready for the big announcement tomorrow. That's on Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.